Hi friends, are you ready for our weekly Lenormand reading? Today is Tuesday, December 2nd. I know that the full moon is going to be in Gemini on Thursday, so be on the lookout for that. All right, first card out is what Spirit would like to speak with us about, okay? Oh, the stars. I love to see the stars. The stars are wish fulfillment, and you can't get any better than that. So that's a lovely first card. I do see that the gentleman and the lady are right next to one another, and you know, that kind of has that twin feel to it, masculine, feminine, yin and yang, but it also kind of has that feeling of Gemini too, because we've got, you know, there's the, you know, kind of thing one, thing two feel to it. But I feel like there is some challenges there. So, you know, we're going to have a little bit of stagnant, stuck energy, but we're going to see a breakthrough and we're going to have a decision to make. Okay. I like to see that. But the bear is there. So that's courage, that's strength, that's, you know, a little bit of managerial to it in the aspect of career. So, you know, it's kind of importance, somebody that's like in your job that is in a significant role. But I do see a little bit of challenge there. But just know that everything works out. Wish fulfillment's there. The tree is there. Healing environment. And then there's the birds, which is conversations. So there just might be some delay. There might be a little bit of an obstacle that you have to overcome. But I see that the tree being in the center, you can't help but think that that has like a nurturing, healing, you know, recovery type of an energy. So that's good. All right, the next card out is the Cavalier. The Cavalier is the rider. It would be the news that's coming forward. And I do see that there might be a little bit of anxiety there, but the sun is right underneath it. So, you know, I know that sometimes half the things we worry about never happen. Try to keep your thoughts as positive as possible, but the moon is there too. So those are loving relationships kind of coming out of a friendship. And the mice kind of has that clingy, you know, in the photo that I have anyways, they're kind of like codependent kind of a feel to it. So it's the masculine and the feminine energies that are working in tandem, which that was our first portrait too, the male and the female, okay? And then I see the key. The key are the solutions. So even if you are experiencing some difficulties, just know that the key is there so that you are able to figure out the solution. And the mice, then you realize that, you know, it's almost like the problems that come up are learning experiences, okay? So don't look at them as really challenges, just look at them as opportunity, okay? And then we've got the coffin in the next portrait in the center. That is like a period of being away, period of rest, a little bit of quiet energy to it, but it's transformational in nature. So the heart, the coffin, and the flowers, that has that feeling of recovery, at least improvements, okay? There may be some sort of a removal of something or a decision or surgery because the scythe is there. So I kind of feel like, you know, maybe the removal of something that is causing the problem. And the scythe, it kind of has lots of meanings. It's a change card, but it's, you know, can be literally a cut. It can be a surgery. It can be removal. Okay, so just know that that's kind of what that feels like there. And I see the ring and the cross, which kind of indicates, you know, maybe ending some sort of an involvement or possibly a relationship. And it doesn't feel good, but it's karmic. So it means that it's something that had to happen or something that was meant to happen. So all is not lost, okay? If we're speaking of someone who has actually passed over, just know that they send their gifts, you know. So maybe be on the lookout for some gifts that kind of come out of nowhere, feel to it, or just look for those signs and synchronicities, okay? And I see the dog and the fox. Those are kind of like your partnerships. You know, those are your spirit guides, your people that are there to help you. Kind kind of, could also be your pets. So, I don't know if anybody has lost a pet recently, but it's kind of like letting us know that they've made their way over to the Rainbow Bridge. Because the flowers are there, and that kind of indicates my rainbow. So even our pets, they pass over. I've also been told that pets stay in the same soul group. So, that's probably why there is such an unconditional love of our pets, is because they've been with us and throughout time, throughout all of our, times here on Earth. So the snake is there, so that's transformational. That's shedding your skin. But in the context that it's in right now, I feel like, it's kind of a new beginning. We've got the tower, we've got the child, and then we have the ship. That is a success feel to it. And then the clover is our final card. So you can't ask for, well, the sun obviously is the very best outcome, but the clover is very, a blessing. Could be like a blessing in disguise feel to it. But, and then also the clover can kind of bring on a little bit of a temporary luck. So it's not always, for the length of time. It's like small blessings that kind of come, and then another blessing comes. They're just kind of fleeting, but nevertheless a blessing. Okay. Well, maybe it's talking because we were talking about the pets. Pets don't live as long as we do, and enjoy them while they're here, because their life here on Earth isn't as long as ours, right? I know my little Roxy, I tell you what, she's got such personality. She's more like a child than she is an animal. So all those stars, they ended up on the child. So I love to see that. And then the rider ended up on the house of the stars, which, that's lovely. That's a big blessing is going to be coming in, or a small blessing. But, it's those little things that add up to all the big things, right? All right, let's see, Spirit, what do we have here? I do see some online communication, and it's kind of there was a challenge, okay? So, but we do have the breakthrough, so that's good. So maybe, I don't know if maybe something has been coming up online that maybe a challenge of some sort, and maybe kept on coming up, and then because it's kind of that circular feel to it of over and over again, and then finally something opened up. So I know I've seen where people have seen things online that's calling to them. Maybe it's a little bit of a, either a diet or an exercise routine or just anything, right? It keeps reappearing, keeps showing up, and then you finally pull the trigger. So it's kind of like spirits keep sending you signs. You got to listen to them, right? It's kind of like, when that story about someone being deserted on a island, and he's praying to God to save him, and they kept sending, a boat or a whatever, a life raft, and, he just never took it. So you kind of have to take that action, okay? I do see where there is a journey, a vacation feel to it, and migratory in nature, because the stork is there. And then we have a landing and a blessing. So maybe we're talking about going on a vacation, or maybe we're making vacation plans, or maybe we're actually on that vacation. But there is a little bit of the mice are there, so there might be some things that are frustrating, or might be a little uncomfortable, because that's kind of my niggles card, right? It kind of has a little bit of a I don't know. It feels like annoying or whatever, but the sun is there. So that also has that nervous excitement feel. But it could be one or two or both in the context that I see it in, okay? The coffin is there. The coffin is that, a little bit of quietness, secretive feeling to it next to the snake and the fox. So just maybe kind of keep things under wraps, or, maybe there's a surprise. We're waiting for the right time to announce it. But yeah, I do see that there is a little bit of because all the secret cards are there. You know, the snake is there, the book is there, and then the fox is there in the coffin. So that's that quieter energy that you want to kind of keep under wraps, okay? But I love the surprise idea. Maybe a surprise visit, a surprise announcement, a surprise gift. But excitement is kind of mounting feel for sure, because I've got the tower and the mice there too. Let's see. Oh, the love is there, but I see the scythe. So, you know, that's probably what I was talking about earlier. The scythe kind of has that little bit of a heartbreak or a broken kind of a feel to it. Yeah, could be, but just know that there is, you know, the stars are after that. So, you know, it's kind of like one of those things that the what doesn't kill you makes you stronger feel. But it could mean something as literal as removal of something that doesn't serve your lifestyle. And then it also could be like a surgery that might affect your lifestyle. But the tree is there, so I see that recovery. And then the stars, so that's wish fulfillment. So maybe we have had a breakthrough or miracle kind of a feel to it. Yeah, that's what it feels like. Prayer works. So, you know, if we can maybe verbally speak out what it is that we are wanting prayer for, right? You know, before I said, you know, prayer is asking, meditation is for listening. So maybe pray and then sit back and then listen to the signs and synchronicities that come your way, because that could be spirit answering you, or at least giving you something visual or feeling that their presence is aware, that you're aware of their presence. Like, oh my gosh, you know, look what just happened. I just asked for that, you know. So that's the, you know, it's kind of manifesting 101, you know, when we recognize that and we're working with the energies, you're able to manifest so much easier, right? You know, I feel like unconditional love and not being attached to the outcome, you're able to manifest almost instantaneously. You know, Mike and I used to do it all the time. It became a joke. But we lived such a life of, you know, happiness and joy and appreciation. And the people that we always encountered, we would laugh. We only attracted good people, you know, because of it. So just keep that in mind. I want you to use your energy to not be so attached to the outcome, and maybe let universe work its magic, and then sit back in awe and joy and live in that it's an energy that it's hard to explain and put it into words, but just live in that maybe childlike wonderment feeling, okay? Children are very good at it, their imaginations, and then their joyful, playful energy, okay? And the child is in that focal spot with the stars, okay? The bottom left corner are the crossroads, and the bottom right is the clover. That's that feeling of multiple blessings, okay? And then we've got the key is in a focal spot too. So maybe, you know, the solution kind of to unlock the door, okay? Because the coffin is there with the snake. That has that feeling to it too. I do see a little bit of a cross to bear, so just know that it's still going to take effort. Courage and strength is going to be required. But, you know, all the things that we work so hard for, you know, and sit back and enjoy the things, you know, don't work, you know, work hard, play hard. But, you know, what are we here for? We're here to enjoy our families, the things that bring us joy, whether it's our hobbies and that sort of thing, but also we need to express ourselves with our gifts and our talents. So all of that taking into consideration, you know, that's kind of what builds up into the crescendo of life, you know, bringing forth things into creation and co-creating. It's not just about, you know, doing it all on your own. It takes the community sometimes, and it takes our partnerships, it takes our friendships. So, you know, enjoy life, you know, take this time, especially during the holidays. You know, we just had Thanksgiving, there's Friendsgiving. Well, then there's Christmas. Get together with your family and friends and make it a joyful experience. When the community can come together and have events, that's nice as well. The community involvement, but the everyone coming together is the point I'm trying to make. Okay, let's see what else. Yeah, I see the trip. Buy the ticket, take the trip. Feel life is short. All right, friends. Well, I hope you have a blessed week, and until next week, I'll see you then. But if you'd like an in-person reading between now and then, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to have a reading in person with you. I'll talk to you soon, and you have a blessed day. Bye-bye.